Hey everyone, I'm going to be talking to you about our Bible lesson for the week. So if you want to take out of your packet, of your week 3 packet, you're going to have 3 Bible workbook pages that I just photocopied. And I'm just going to be talking to you a little bit about salt and light. So this week's lesson talks about Christians being salt and light. And there are 2 analogies, or almost like 2 metaphors to describe what we're supposed to be like in the world. So when we think about salt, let's think about what we use salt for. So we use salt for one thing is to flavor food, right? We sprinkle it on our food to season meat, and it brings out flavor or goodness out of your food. So salt's definitely a flavor adder. The second thing that salt does is that it's used as a preservative. So back in like pioneer days, when they didn't have refrigeration, they didn't have freezers, they would take fresh meat that they hunted, and after they, took all the feathers off, or skinned the meat and prepare and got it ready, they would pack it in salt. And what that would do was it would dry it out, and it would make it so that it could be kept for a long period of time and wouldn't spoil, because again they didn't have refrigeration. And so salt was often used as a preservative. So when we think about what salt is used for and what salt does, we can compare that to what we're supposed to be doing as Christians. As a Christian, we are like that flavor enhancer that we use salt for, right? We are the flavor in the world. We're the good in the world, sprinkled among all the evilness. And so we want to be like that flavor enhancer where we bring out the better in people. The salt as a preservative, that's going to be us also. We're like the Christians are like the preservators of good, right? We preserve the good in the world, and we can do that a lot of different ways, right? Through random acts of kindness, through the way we interact with people, through our reactions to hard situations or difficult situations. All those times that really we have to make choices about the way we respond are all ways that we can be like salt. We can be that good in all the evil. So on your sports teams, in your Girl Scout troops, in your families, in your communities, those are all opportunities that we can be preservers of good, and we can also flavor the world with our goodness in a very evil world. Okay, so that's what salt is talking about. And then the other thing is going to be light. So we've talked about light before, and we've said, well, what does a flashlight do? If we were to turn off all the lights, or you were to walk into a completely pitch black room with a light or a candle or a match or something like that, what does it do? And of course we know that it illuminates, it shows us the way, it guides us. It makes a dark situation lighter, right? All those things we've said before. So that's kind of, as Christians, again, we are that light that is in a dark room, right? It's noticeable. As a Christian, sometimes we do stick out because we don't go along with the crowd. We don't go with the world's ways. And so sometimes we can kind of be the different one, the odd one. And I know we've talked about it all year long about, how are we going to take a stand for Christ, and how are you going to be that light in the dark world. And so think of that flashlight analogy of just being that light. And I've said before, and I'll tell you guys a little story, I've said this before, but I used to work at a video store, and I knew that I could not work on Sunday mornings. I just had told my manager, without telling her I went to church, I told her, I can't really start work on Sundays until the afternoon. And so she always respected that and gave me afternoon hours on a Sunday. But I was approached one day by her, and she asked me, just kind of in a passing conversation, oh, Jenny, do you go to church? And I said, oh, I do. And she goes, oh, okay. I said, that's why I can't work on Sunday mornings. And I said, why? And she goes, oh, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. You just seem different. You just seem just different. And she didn't mean it in a rude way, and I didn't take it in a rude way. I wasn't offended. I almost took it as a compliment, because there were times maybe that my coworkers were talking about things, and I would just go off to the side and I wouldn't participate in it. Or maybe they were telling jokes that probably weren't very nice. I wouldn't laugh at them. Or there were maybe, just all kinds of opportunities that came up that I just kind of excused myself quietly from, without even say anything to them. But it was enough to show them that I was different, that I wasn't going along with everything just because I worked in that environment, but that I had some morals and I had some standards for myself that I wasn't going to participate in certain things. And so I've always remembered that story, and I always share it with students, because I think of myself as, I always go back and I think of myself as, maybe I was a light in there. That manager later on went on to ask me later, much later, about Christ. I guess she felt comfortable enough and started telling me about her church that she went to, and to open up like that was I felt like was really great. And so being a light in a dark world and being salt in our evil world are all two things that God calls us to do, and that's what your lesson is going to be about this week. So I want you, as you go through the pages, and I assign one a day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I have a couple video links for you to watch also. But as you go through the week, I want you to think about, how can I be a salt in this world? How can I be a light in this world? How can I shine? And be around non-Christians and maybe non-Christian family members, or wherever the situation happens to be, how you can be their salt and your light. And we're gonna we'll circle back with that at one of our Zoom meetings, probably on the Thursday Zoom meeting. So be thinking about that, be ready to kind of explore that when we get together on Thursday. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.